Hello again, my friends. Since you clicked on this video, you probably already know the Osmo Pocket is an amazing little gadget. But it has some shortcomings, and one big one is not being able to mount the Pocket to anything. So stick around and we'll show you 4 great mounts from PolarPro that are inexpensive and very effective at filling these gaps. And be sure to watch all the way to the end for a few surprises of things you might not have known your Osmo Pocket was capable of. All on Picks to Flicks. I love my Osmo Pocket, but it is a first-generation product, and many of us out here in YouTube land think DJI might have made a few design mistakes or omissions. One of these was the subject of my last video, not being able to use an external microphone until DJI released their mic adapter a couple weeks ago. Another obvious omission is the lack of any quarter 20 threads anywhere on the Osmo Pocket. This means it's difficult, if not impossible, to mount the Osmo Pocket to anything or to mount anything to the Osmo Pocket. So, to fill this void, those clever folks at PolarPro are doing that thing they do, coming up with accessories to round out products made by other companies. The first of the PolarPro mounts we're going to look at for your Osmo Pocket is the Tripod Mount. It's a sturdy cage that cradles your DJI baby and provides some level of drop protection, while also incorporating 2 quarter 20 threads, one on the bottom and one on the side. The bottom thread finally gives you a way to mount your Pocket to a tripod like, well, a tripod mount. And the side quarter 20 thread provides an attachment point for a light or a microphone. The tripod mount is finished in a matte black rubber-like material that gives a good grip surface and appears to be durable. It's lightweight, and I found I can leave it on my Osmo Pocket most of the time. If you leave the tripod mount on your Pocket, it will no longer fit in the DJI case that came with it, so you'll need something to protect the gimbal and the lens. I have the PGY Tech gimbal lock and the PolarPro product. I prefer the PolarPro gimbal lock as it also covers the touchscreen and works with the tripod mount attached. If you're like me, and I know I am, your Pocket lives most of its life with the smartphone connector attached. A challenge associated with the PolarPro tripod mount is the fact that you need to take the connector off the Pocket to fit it into the tripod mount, and then remove the connector again to remove the Pocket. You may not think that's a big deal, but all electrical connectors eventually wear out after so many connect-disconnect cycles, and I fear attaching and detaching the PolarPro tripod mount from your Osmo Pocket this often may shorten the life of the smartphone connector, and possibly the pins on the Pocket itself. Nothing to worry about right now since my Osmo Pocket is only a few months old, but something that does concern me. Of course, I'm an engineer. To insert the Pocket into the tripod mount, simply open the latch on the mount. Slide in the Osmo Pocket, then close the latch. The latch is very secure. In other words, that ain't going nowhere. Now, since this is a tripod mount, let's mount it to a tripod. The clever folks at PolarPro have provided a slot to access a USB-C port on the bottom of the tripod mount. Great, right? Well, not so fast. You see, once you mount the Osmo Pocket to a tripod with the PolarPro mount, you end up blocking the access to the USB-C port. This means you won't be able to charge the Pocket while it's on a tripod, and you won't be able to use the other accessories like the mic adapter either. Well, that's unfortunate. I even tried a right-angle USB-C extender. No joy, Maverick. So I got to thinking and busted open my box of stuff in my studio lighting kit, and I ran across a quarter 20 male-to-female extender, known as a spigot. Yep, that's what it's called, a spigot. Once I screwed the spigot onto the tripod, it created enough clearance to allow access to the USB-C port. As you can see here, it's now possible to connect a cable for charging, which is going to be really important for those extended time-lapse exposure sessions. I've been a photographer for a while, and I've accumulated a bunch of miscellaneous hardware over the years. But you should be able to find something like this at B&H, Adorama, or Amazon. You might have to build one of your own from several components to get a female-male extender, but I'll put links in the description below for kits to do this. The threads on the side of the PolarPro tripod mount can be used to attach a light or a microphone, or even both at the same time. Okay, this is a bit of a Franken mount, but it works. Unfortunately, it appeared that once your Osmo Pocket was installed in the tripod mount, you couldn't use the DJI wireless module. But PolarPro makes another tripod mounting solution for the wireless module that we'll discuss later in this video. There's yet another solution to this problem that allows for use of the wireless module with a number of different mount solutions, but I didn't figure this out until I was playing with mounting the Osmo Pocket to my car, and I'll talk about this in a few minutes. I also mounted my Osmo Pocket to the handlebars of a kick scooter with the PolarPro Tripod Mount and took it out on the streets of downtown Chicago. This time of year, after an entire winter of freezing and thawing, you can imagine how bumpy, potholed, cracked, and uneven the sidewalks and streets are. Not unexpectedly, the video didn't come out very well. Mounting the Osmo Pocket directly to something that is going to vibrate and bounce around with no dampener or other isolation on a fairly light scooter resulted in a lot of what's called jello and unusable footage. I'm going to try this again later in this video using the backstrap strap mount to see if being attached to my body helps dampen the sudden impacts any better. Next up is a similar mounted tripod mount, but in this case offering connections to hundreds if not thousands of mounting solutions and accessories for the GoPro line of cameras. It's called the PolarPro Action Mount. Wait, no, not Anson Mount, Action Mount. The Action Mount appears to be made of the same type of material as the tripod mount and also offers a similar level of protection for your Osmo Pocket. There are 3 mounting points on the bottom, the side, and the back. Very handy, and it gives you more flexibility when deciding how to mount your gizmo. Much of what I said about the tripod mount can be also said of the Action Mount, with some subtle differences. The Osmo Pocket sits in the Action Mount and is clamped down like a kid at an amusement park being strapped into a roller coaster seat. If your smartphone connector is facing outwards, like mine often is, you'll have to remove it, or turn it around, since the hinge on the latch interferes with it. Remember my comments about this connector and the issue with connecting and disconnecting it with the tripod mount? Ibid. At first, like the tripod mount, I thought I wouldn't be able to use my wireless module with the Action Mount. I was planning on attaching my Osmo Pocket to the outside of my car in several locations, and I really wanted to control the camera and live stream the video, but there didn't seem to be a workable solution. But then I remembered the right-angle USB-C extension I tried to use with the tripod mount earlier in this video. I wondered if I could kludge something together with the right-angle connector and the Wi-Fi adapter. Sure enough, it hooked together fine, and when I turned everything on and linked with the Pocket via the Bluetooth, there was my live stream in all its glory. I mounted the Osmo in 3 locations on my car, low on the front door, on the roof, and on the hood. In all cases, the Pocket performed great, and in all cases, I maintained Bluetooth connection, live stream, and control over my camera on my phone. I'll bet you didn't know your Osmo Pocket could do things like this. Yeah, the Osmo Pocket isn't a GoPro, but having the ability to remotely operate it and live stream the video adds a couple levels of utility to the little guy, at least in my opinion. If you want to try to reproduce what I did by mounting your Pocket to a moving vehicle, be sure to use a very sturdy mount. I dug out a RAM suction cup mount that is almost bomb-proof, plus I strung some safety wire from the RAM and pinned the wire into my door jamb to stop the whole contraption from tumbling earthward in case the mount failed. You also might be limited in how fast you can go before the wind interferes with the gimbal operation. Again, this isn't quite a GoPro when it comes to action clips like this, but it's still pretty awesome, and the GoPro lacks the Osmo Pocket's 3-axis gimbal. The action mount will also allow you to attach your Osmo Pocket to any GoPro selfie stick like the one I use without needing any other hardware. The next mount we will look at is the PolarPro strap mount. This is a substantial piece of hardware designed to be clamped onto a vertical or horizontal strap. The mount adjusts to accommodate straps up to approximately 5/8 of an inch in thickness. It straddles the strap and is held securely in place with 2 knurled knobs. In addition, the mount provides a quick disconnect lever to easily detach and attach your Osmo Pocket. This lever also locks in place and stops the pocket from coming loose. You'll have to experiment with placement on your backpack straps to find a place where the Osmo Pocket is vertical and facing forward and doesn't interfere with your ability to move around. In use, I like employing the wireless adapter so I can see what's being recorded. This isn't necessary, but it does help since it can be difficult, if not impossible, to see the screen on your Osmo Pocket when it's mounted to your chest. You'll need to use the USB-C extender again like we did with the clip captured from outside my car. Walking with the Pocket on your backpack generates pretty decent video. I have found FPV and tilt lock to be the best gimbal modes to use in this application. FPV will give you whatever the camera sees and will turn and lean with you. Tilt locked will keep the camera oriented with the horizon, independent of your attitude. You might say this video looks just like ones you've taken walking along a sidewalk, and you'd be right. That's the point. The difference was this was shot hands-free on my part. In fact, I was walking my dog when these clips were recorded. Now let's go back and try to video from the scooter, but this time we'll have the Osmo Pocket mounted to my backpack strap. My bike is in storage, so this will have to fill in for a bike test. As you can see, the footage is much better than what was gotten when the Pocket was mounted directly to the handlebars. As suspected, the size, mass, and overall squishiness of my body helps to dampen the vibration and movement. I'm guessing equivalent results would be obtained if I was riding a bicycle or even an ATV. Last but not least is the PolarPro Wi-Fi Tripod Mount. When you first look at the DJI wireless module, you wonder, why didn't DJI just add a 1/4-20 mount to the underside? Well, that would have made the wireless module considerably thicker in order to fit the 1/4-inch thread, and besides, if DJ got everything right the first time, what would our buddies at PolarPro do? The PolarPro Wi-Fi Tripod Mount attaches securely to the bottom of the wireless module and provides a slightly larger, more secure base. There's also a pass-through USB port to provide power to your Pocket. Another feature of the Wi-Fi Tripod Mount is the addition of an Arca Swiss mount on the bottom. This provides a very secure, quick-release mounting system if you have an Arca tripod plate. In my opinion, the combination of the wireless module and the PolarPro Wi-Fi Tripod Mount placed atop a simple, small tripod is the best combination for a long time-lapse video. You can easily attach a power source, set up the shot on the Mimo app, and monitor your Osmo Pocket wirelessly. Okay, so now you know 4 ways to mount your Pocket to all kinds of different things. The addition of more and more accessories is turning this little guy into quite a flexible and capable piece of photo and video gear. What are your thoughts about the Osmo Pocket now that many of the gaps in its design are being filled in by accessories from DJI and other companies? If you liked today's video, please help me out by smashing the like button below. If not, go ahead and click on the thumbs down, but if you do, give me some suggestions how I can do better. Plus, if you'd like to get notified of my next videos, hit the subscribe button right over here or down here. Thanks for watching. I'm Dennis, and this has been Pix to Flicks.